the tea. Pour the tea in your cup and then pass to your right. So now you can pour the tea into your cup and then pass the tea pot to your right. And the one who received the teapot, we join your hands, bow, and then you slowly pour tea into the cup and pass on to the next person. And we do not roll further than one line because we have 4 pots. Try to pour the tea at the wall of the tea. So when you pour the tea, you don't make the noise. This is the how the manner of the temple when we pour the tea into the cup. This is how we, if we have the tea cup, and we pour the tea along the wall, so we won't make the noise. And in Asia, the polite way to pour the tea, make sure when you offer the tea cup to your friend, no bubble. That's to show you're polite. If you receive the teapot, and if the teapot is light, that means no more tea. So you can gently stand up and walk slowly to the main pot and get some. So tonight we'll drink tea and with some cookies. And after that, if you have any question, you can ask. Or if you have something to share with the brother and the sisters, please do not hesitate to share. Don't be shy. And because this is the opportunity for us to share our practice and to raise up our question. Yeah. Take what you like. For those who drink tea, usually we hold the teacup in 2 hands and we smell the tea first and then we drink. And why is that? Because the tea always have the fragrance and the taste. So before we taste, let the fragrance of the tea go through the nose. So when you drink, you smell and you taste. Please enjoy your cookies. Good evening, brothers and sisters, friends. Today is Friday, January 28, 2011. This is the last Friday of the month, so according to our schedule, we sit together, we will enjoy tea and cookies together, and then we will share our practice, or if we have questions, we can ask. The purpose of tea meditation is to give us the opportunity so that we can sit together as brothers and sisters to enjoy the presence of each other, and also to slow us down by drinking, because usually we drink every day, we eat every day. But most of the time when we drink and we eat, we totally do not aware of the time we drink, and also we did not have the chance to taste the real taste of the tea or the cookie. We are always rushing. Very rarely that we can calm down and enjoy what are we doing. Sometimes we have nothing to do, but we still rush, because rushing has become our habit. We cannot walk slowly. That's why every Friday when we come, after 30 minutes of sitting, we learn how to walk slowly. So first, to help us to enjoy our steps, enjoy every single step we make, also to help us to learn how to slow down. You can see whether people still rush or not. And sometimes they walk and they almost hit the first person. We can tell. And remember, when we have that, we should realize it and slow down. So meditation helps us to see clearly even our thinking, our thoughts, and also help us to realize every single action, every single behavior, whether it's positive or negative. We clearly realizing it. So when we're able to realize that, it helps us a lot. If it's negative, doesn't mean we bad. We have sins, but to help us to correct that negative. So in Buddhism, when you do something wrong, it's not the end of the world. But you should see it to renew it, to begin yourself again, to rebuild, to fix, to renovate, etc. When the house is being, we should realize the house is old and is damaged. We should know where to fix and how to fix. And meditation helps us to see clearly not only our mentally but also with the physical body too. And then we adjust. So meditation in Buddhism helps us to adjust, help us to balance. you can see that usually we can take one multivitamin every day just to help our immune system, help our body in the balanced shape. Same thing. If something is too high, we need to reduce. Some people need to stop taking something that contains a lot of irons because they have too much irons in their body. And somebody, they need to take more irons. If you have too much acid, you cannot take sour stuff and fruit and things like that. So we always balance our body. And with meditation can help us to realize everything like that. So drinking the tea or pouring the tea into the cup, they're all meditation. So when the teapot arrives in front of you, or to your right, or to your left, they pass on to your left because we pass to the right. And then to the next person, we join our hands, we bow. Bowing means thank you. Instead of saying to the word, we just bow. And then lift up the teapot, gently pour the tea into the cup, no noise. So all of that, meditation. Because we do things with our gentle, beautiful manner. In Buddhism, we call mindful manner. As a novice, when we come to them as a monastic, we have to learn how to walk, how to sit, how to drink, how to eat, how to talk. Even when we're cleaning the cups or everything, we need to learn in a mindful way. We have to do things in a mindful way. For example, if somebody is sitting and eat, you are not allowed to bring out the broom and sweep the floor. Because that may cause a lot of dust floating, and it's not right. When someone is having their meal, and accidentally your habit, you bring out a broom, you want to sweep the floor. But very luckily, we look around and we see that person is still eating. We can stop, we can do something else. Like take out the food or clean the table, something like that. But do not sweep the floor. And in the Vietnamese tradition, if the guests come to your house and visit, you are not allowed to sweep the floor. Because that shows you want to sweep, you want to invite the guests to leave early. But that is like, because sweeping, like the guest is coming, why don't you sit and talk? Why you stand up and you take out the broom and sweep? So that means you don't respect the guest. That shows. So the guests, if they see that, they're not happy. And because they recognize that, so they will say, oh, I'm busy. I should leave now. I leave you do some work. They also respond in the a mindful way to leave. So meditation does not mean you sit on the cushion. You cross your legs, you close your eyes, call meditation. But all your daily behavior, all your daily contact, they're all meditation. Because you have to respond, you have to behave in such a way that you don't hurt the others. That's called meditation. For example, if a kid accidentally they drop out the hot water, but in our in our habit way, we may come and yell at the kid. But we should know that they drop the hot teacup, they're already scared. And our yelling doesn't help, but only increase the scary for the kid. So if we almost yell, we can stop on time and we say, "Are you okay?" That's meditation. When you're able to stop your negative behavior, your negative actions, your negative words on time, that's already meditation. And remember, if we can do that, how can we do that? Because with daily practice. Every day, if we have no 10 or 15 minutes of sitting down and calm our own body, we're unable to do that. We're unable to have that quick, positive response. We're unable to have that quick, positive react. So as a novice, when we come to the monastery and training to become a monk, we have to learn all of that. And remember, when you can understand deeply the meaning of meditation, you can see that meditation everywhere. You can see that the Buddha is teaching every corner of the universe, not only at the monastery, but every single places, every corner of this universe. But I really encourage every day, spend 10 minutes sitting and relax. Calm your body, calm your mind. Because that helps you a lot for your 24-hour daily living. We can reflect and ask ourselves, how many times that we have said something, we have done something to hurt our loved one. Sometimes we don't mean it. But because of our negative, habits in us, very strong, they are very strong. Something doesn't fit what we think, what we believe, we react right away. And a lot of the times when we react in that way, we hurt our loved one, especially our parents, our grandparents, who are senior. And we have to remember, seniors very, very sensitive. When we become more older and older, we're very sensitive. They may get the wrong idea right away. So that's why we have to be careful. Be careful doesn't mean we scare them. But we will come to them with our our real heart, our real mind, our real love. We don't pretend. But when we can do things in that way, and every action we do is contain loving kindness, compassionate. This afternoon we are very fortunate to have a senior monk who visited us this afternoon. He came from Montreal, and he stayed at one of the family. And when I call and I know that he was here, so I call and I asked his permission that I can come and pay respect. And he told me that our master here paid a visit him twice already. But he haven't had a chance to come back and visit us and visit the temple, so he rather to come here. So when we come and we invite him to the living room, because he has stroke, so he cannot talk a lot, and his words very hard to listen. But can you imagine that we feel very touched with his presence, with his kindness? Why? He didn't say anything, he didn't do anything, but how can we feel that? Because the inner cultivating. When we cultivate the compassion, the loving kindness enough in ourselves, sometimes we don't have to say anything. Sometimes we do not need to do anything. We just sit there quietly, drink tea, walk slowly, but people around us, they can benefit a lot. When you visit, if you have your grandma or your grandpa, you can feel that way because they are loving kindness. Because of their love, their care, you can feel. And he look around and he see young monks, he very happy. He remember 60 years ago when he back in Vietnam and he taught a lot of students in the monastery. He now is 80 years old. He ordained as a monk when he was 12. And now he is 80 years old. No more teaching, but when he look young monks, he very much like it. And we can feel that love. We can feel it. So remember when you are meditation, you come on Friday night, if you come late or you come early, if you come early, you can sit quietly and start your meditation. If someday you come here late, just walk slowly to your cushion, bow, and then quietly sit down. Okay, and if you're at home, no matter which way you sit, you can sit on a bench, on a chair, on a cushion, but try to keep your back straight as much as you can. Relax your shoulders. Do not try to hold your shoulders, but relax. And if you sit on floor, you can sit halfway, like your right leg put on your left leg, and sit on the half of the cushion or 1/3 of the cushion, so your two knees can touch the floor. Okay? Cầm bên này. It's like this. So when your two knees can touch the floor, you can sit longer because the floor already hold your legs. Okay? Let me show you if I sit on the whole cushion and I will be like this. You see, then I am unable to sit long and look very funny. So that's why we don't sit on the whole cushion. Sit half cushion or 1/3. If you're unable to sit this way, okay, you can just sit cross your legs like this. And if because you have problem with your legs, you can sit this way. Just put your two legs like this. But you still keep your back straight. And then how about your hands? You can put your right hand on your left and put in front of your lap here. Two thumbs together. Gently. Okay? Or you can put your two hands on your two knees. Your head, do not look up, do not look too low. Adjust. And look down where you can see the top of your nose. You can close your eyes or you can open halfway. But make sure you don't open wide. Because when you open wide like this, you can see people come late and sit wrong, and then you attract. So sit, look halfway down. And the halfway down looking also symbolizes for, as a practitioner, we always reflect ourselves more than we looking at others people. Seeing yourself, knowing yourself, recognizing about yourself is the most important work. It's the most important job for all the practitioners. Instead of seeing people around, she is wrong, he is wrong, this is the mistake, this is wrong. And we always busy with people's mistakes, but we forgot, totally forgot. Our mistake is looking at someone else's faults. We have a lot of mistakes, but we don't see. How come she's so busy? Why she comes late? They come late, but they are more slowly than us. We come early, we sit, but we're too busy. So sometimes, I used to say, sometimes we show that we are sitting, but actually we have no meditation. So usually we call sitting meditation, right? But sometimes we just sit, but we don't meditate. We just sit to show that we are sitting. But our mind already wander to somewhere else. Our mind already walking to somewhere else. So sit. So either way, any way that I show, that you feel comfortable with your breath. With your posture. With your own body. Do not forcing your body on any way. Now you adjust your body, and secondly, you adjust your breath. Okay? Don't do like, you're forcing your breath. But you let your breath in and out naturally. When it is in, this is the in breath. When it is out, this is the out breath. You just sit there and realizing, recognizing. So like the Buddha gave an example, it's like the one who is guarding the kingdom, the palace. Stand on the top. And they can see people in and out very clearly. We also the same. We are the guarding of our breath. In we know, out we know. After we adjust our breath, now we are taming the mind. 3 steps. The body, the breath, and the mind. We sit quietly, we breathe, we know. Maybe only 5 breaths, only 5 breathings. We already start to run. Oh no, I forgot to turn off my stove. Wait a minute, where I leave my wallet, my keys, stuff like that. Or I may late for the next appointment, something like that. So when something like that, jump in. There's nothing wrong with that. In the past, we let that kind of thinking become our master. They control us. We follow. Now we know it. No. This is the time that I meditate. I come back to my breathing. And maybe you can do that for 3 or 5 minutes and then start to run again. You call it back. So the Buddha called our mind is like a buffalo. Very busy. We need to taming the mind of the buffalo. Our mind is like a monkey. Never, very rarely that the monkey can sit. The monkey always moving. So in the 5 prevention for the meditator, and one of them called agitation. Agitation means we cannot sit quietly. Sometimes because of our habit, we sit but like music is coming and we start to dance. And sometimes we have the habit of shaking the legs. We sit, but we do like this, agitation. And sometimes people chanting, but with the wooden fish, up there is inviting, and they also follow that, agitation. But that agitation with the body only. There is another agitation. That is the agitation in the mind. We need to taming that. Maybe only 3 minutes. Start to go. Don't worry, that is nothing wrong. Because of that, that's why we need to sit. If we're able to, totally a good practitioner, and the good practice is not possible. So don't worry. If we have a lot of negatives in us, a lot of habits, that's why we meditate. That's why we practice. Somebody will say, I won't practice now. I will wait until I really calm myself, then I will come to the Friday class. When can we calm if we don't practice? Waiting to be calm, we never calm. We don't practice, we never calm. It's like I have some tea leaf here in my cup. I always use something and stir up. Then how can the tea leaf sink down so I can drink my tea? Only when I am able to leave the cup, sit quietly for a while, let all the tea leaves sink down at the bottom, and then now I can drink the tea. Our mind is the same. A lot of things in here. The past, the present, the future. 3 lifetimes. Sometimes they come together and bother us. Sometimes we sit, but 3 worries come up. We suffer because of our past. We do not accept things in the present. We worry for what happened in the future. And totally, we have no life. Even we call we are a living being, but actually we don't really live exactly as a living being. The sufferer of the past, the worry of the future, push us away from the present. We live in the present moment, but we have no time to enjoy or to touch the present. The present will become past. The future will become present. So actually, we cannot touch anything. So with mindfulness, help us to touch the present. So the present is built strong. And then when present become past, the past can be something beautiful. If we reflect back, that able to help us, encourage us. Worry, future is something is not yet come. We can plan for that. But don't put too much time on that. But live deeply, wholeheartedly in the present moment. Do you get an idea of what I try to share? If we don't see that, we never have a life. I should say that if we don't see that, we don't see the purpose of life. We don't see any happiness of life, of living. And we will realize that this is, the whole world of suffering. Even you shave your head, you become a monastic. But you don't see the light of living. You don't know why you become a monastic. You don't know that the monastic life is how beautiful it was. So these are the things not only for you, but also for my young students, young novices here too. If we can see that light, we have the commitment, the deep vow that we're able to continue our monastic life forever. And we will cultivate the ideal of serving all the living beings. Do you have any question to ask? One of the brother asked, when is the good time to meditate? Please share your practice. I know some of you here have done the meditation at home. Share your practice to your own way. Do you think, do we need to have a specific time? To me, it depends on your own schedule. But the good time to meditate is in the morning. That doesn't mean at night, not good time. But why morning is more better? Because after few hours of sleeping, we wake up, we have the night few hours to rest. So when we wake up and meditate, it's much better. In the afternoon, in the evening, after a long day of working, you tire your body. You eat too much, you feel sleepy. That's why sometimes, in the evening, I don't eat too much. It's too full. It may cause sleepy. But when you feel sleepy or like yawning, and you have to realize during the meditate, so you can try to help you to awake. Okay? And then before we come for the meditate, make sure you wash your face. Okay? Clean your face, because to help you to awake. Wear something loose, help you to breathe, and to sit with more comfortable. If we sit with jean and with belt, it's very hard to sit long. So to me, the morning session is a good time to meditate. In the evenings, fine. If you have no time in the morning, you can practice in the evening. So I should say, depends on your own schedule. But why morning is more better? Because of after a long night of sleep and rest, you can sit more awake. Okay, but of course, depends on your schedule and your own health. Yes, Phong?
My boss at work has a question, and I don't know how to answer it, but she asked two questions. What is meditation supposed to be for you? And the other question is, she said, if she hates somebody so much and she wants to stop hating the person, but she doesn't know how to stop. So how can I answer the question?
Good question. It's very reality for our daily life. So, brothers and sisters, there is a question that first, what is meditation? The purpose of meditation. Secondly, if you hate someone, but you don't want to continue the feeling of hating someone anymore, how can you overcome your hate? How you can transform your hate? I think the first question I already answered earlier. And I also answered what is meditation? I already mentioned a lot during Friday night. And even today, I already said. Meditation means to stop wandering and to dwell deeply in the present moment. And meditation, not only when you sit down, cross your legs, but meditation can be done in your whole day. For example, if you hate someone, and if you know that hating someone is not a pleasure feelings. Remember last week we mentioned about 3 kinds of feelings: pleasure, unpleasure, and neutral. And we can reflect. What do we feel when we have an unpleasant feelings in us? If we love ourselves, we try to transform that. We learn to open the heart, accept, embrace that person, and help us to transform that unpleasant feelings in us. Please share your practice. I think this is something very reality in our daily life. All of us, we have to deal with this kind of thing every day. And how did you overcome it? How did you transform it? Please, Kurt.
I thought about hating someone else. 2 sources of how to arrive at being hate. First is, of course, fear. And the second would be where they scratch a weakness in myself, a rivalry, competition for power or position or something like that. If they do something that is in competition with myself, there's an element of fear of losing what I want. So in that case, I can come back to myself. First I can look at where the other person is, who they are, where they come from, try to understand who they are. But probably more important is understanding who I am and why I'm reacting the way I do, because that is something I can do something about it. I can't understand, but I can at least understand myself and maybe change myself. And this, going back to the first part, if I am fearful of something, if that causes hate to arise, then why am I fearful? Is it because of being with that? Or at least fear, and then the feeling of hate goes away.
Please share more. Yes, sister.
I find that in those instances where those feelings of anger or dislike for something or someone come up, the best thing that I can do is to send them loving thoughts instead of dwelling on that negative. That seems to work. And using meditation is also very beneficial because it calms you down and stops or allows you to have control over the emotions that do come up when they come up.
Okay, I have something to share. So regarding about hate, usually there could be many factors of why a person could be disliking or having feelings of hate for another person. But it depends. But usually, in most cases, I guess, would be like what Kurt said. You have to look at that person, his or her background, or why she's doing that, or doing what she is that's making you hate her or him, or dislike her or him. And most likely, those deeds are usually like unwholesome deeds, such as annoying people a lot, stealing perhaps, and in most cases it's because they do these things either because they're usually because they're suffering. Perhaps they want attention, or perhaps they just want something, or like they want to get revenge on someone because of something they did to them, because someone else did something to them. And if you're able to understand that, then naturally, if you're able to empathize with the other person, then naturally you'll have this loving intention towards them, because you know that you could actually act the same way, because it is a normal impulse for all beings, I guess, to act that way. It's normal. It's hard to control. And usually, for when you hate someone, usually when you're facing adversities or problems like that, it's hard to calm yourself down. Like methods that Grace said, like to try to force yourself, or just try to send loving thoughts to that person is a good method. But sometimes it's really hard to start that in the first place, and you can't give them loving feelings under that emotion of hate. It's really, really, really hard, unless you do one thing, which is meditation. Because meditation, I think it serves two purposes. Or one is to enjoy life, enjoy every moment that you live in. And with this, you'll know that no matter what you're under, no matter what you're doing, every moment of your life is happiness. Whether you're facing adversities or whether you're facing happiness, both are a blessing, because adversities, you could think of it as something that gives you strength, that lets you mature, because you learn from your mistakes. That's one example. And so that it gives you that enjoying, right? So you always have the optimistic outlook on life. Second, it goes into the second thing, which is to be able to think and rationalize what is the right decision, what is the bad decision. And it helps you a lot. So you have to train in order to undermine that feeling of hate before it comes to you. So rather than trying to stop that hate during the time it happens to you, you gotta practice and train before and prepare for the problems that lay ahead in the future with meditation. Because they say that meditation you could do in all forms of your life, but the reason why we sit or walk is because it is the most basic form. It is the easiest. You could do meditation easiest when you're sitting and standing. That's why we train in these easy positions, easy ways, in order to be able to implement it into our daily lives. Because it is harder to implement meditation into actions such as working and cooking, as opposed to unlike sitting and standing or walking, because it is much easier. So you have to prepare for that.
Enjoy. Nothing to worry. Now you can meditate.
I will attempt to answer the question. I find the word hate is a bit too strong, so I'm going to use the word dislike. And when I dislike someone, oftentimes is that the person has shown some behavior that is in me that I don't like. And that is really so. And so you just get into dislike the person. And you have to find out that you have to catch yourself that you really don't like that. And spend some time thinking about that. And if I'm not ready to deal with that, then I have to ask myself, the person probably is fast asleep. And here I am, disliking the person and awake. And keep on thinking, how dare you, this and that, you know. It's really a no-win game, you know. Other person could be sleeping, could be having a good time, and I'm stewing, keeping myself all agitated. You have to ask yourself whether it's worth it or not. And one way to stop it is to go back to the breathing, and to realize that I'm going back to breathing, and hopefully that will calm oneself down, and willing to look at what some experts call, you know, dealing with the shadow work, the shadow in us, and that there are many resources out there, and to look at the situation and to learn to accept that. And like Thay have learned from here is that we turn the garbage into composting, and then from the composting, then you will have flowers and vegetables that would grow from it. So by accepting that, yes, you know, I have this trait that I really don't like it, and very precious that could advance your own development. So this is what I have to offer, and I hope you will benefit.
Any more sharing? One of the things that I used to practice is in order to relieve my dislike in me for someone, I used to learn to put myself in her or his position in order to understand the person, in order to love that person and accept that person more easier. I share with you one of the things that when I was a young novice. When I first ordained as a novice, I'm very strictly forward with all the disciplines. At that time, I have brothers and sisters who ordained at the same time with me. And if someone who done something is not correct, I'm willing to use all the rules, the disciplines to order that person. And sometimes I disagree with the way how the master compassionate to those people. So I came to him and I complained. And the master never say anything. Instead, he will say, this is what he said. And I remember his words up to this moment. He just smiled with me and he said, well, when you are growing up, you in my position. Automatically you know how to do and why you have to do that. Because when you are not at that level, you are not at that position, you may disagree why people do that. But if you put yourself in that position, you understand why. And I used to, in order to help me, I do that with others. Sometimes you need to put yourself in that person's position. Same thing as we say the background. We understand the background of someone. Here in the practice, there is another power, the super unnatural, you know. And that is how that you can understand the other person. That is one of your power. Once you can understand that person, you can come to that person easier. You can look at that person easier. You can hear that person's voice easier. Because of your understanding of their background. You can look at that person with your loving kindness, with your compassion eyes. You can hear that person with your compassion ears. So this is not only the philosophy, but this is something very reality in our daily life. And get what? Do not think we have done the practice. We need to practice all the time. You know why? Because life moves on. And life is impermanent. That's why people's mind always changed. And because people's mind change easily in that way, so you have to update. You have to, you need to see it clearly in order to take it. It's like the weather. Like a week ago, so cold. Yesterday, quite warm. Late at night, windy. So the weather change, impermanent. And if you live in this kind of city, you have to take, the impermanence of the weather. You have to accept. Do not think Vancouver is, nice and warm. Someday they are very cold too. And if you go there and you live there, no snow, only once in a while, but you have to accept the raining. So every single places in this life, there is something pleasure and unpleasure. In the group of people, some people very beautiful, some people very easy to communicate, some people very hard to communicate. But because you have to work with them, you have to deal with them. So in order to transform them, we need to transform ourselves first. We expect people to change. But do you help yourself to take them first before you can change them? Let's say you want to turn garbage into compost. Or let's say you want to have some compost for your plants. First, you have to accept garbage. No doubt. That is something you have to do first. Accept the garbage. So once you accept the garbage, you want to transform garbage into compost. You have to accept the bad smell. You have to accept the flies, around with that area. Very messy, very mud, very bad smell. But after a while, with all of that terrible things, there you go. You have the whole case, the whole container of compost. Because we are the good farmer, we can see which one can dump into this compost container, which one is not. When I was in some of the practice center, and because we need to line up and wash our own dishes, And in front of that table, they have three pails to dump the garbage. If something unable to compose, put in one. It's become garbage. Well, they will recycle, like plastic or like something. But something can be composed, like lemon or some leaves or some vegetable. You cannot eat it, dump in here. Everything will go to the compost. And then every day we have to look at the schedule to see what we have to do today. And someday we have to put on our work clothes to go to the compost area and dealing with all of that terrible things. But learning. I used to say, if we don't fall down, we never learn how hurt when we fall. Okay, that's one lecture. The second lecture, we will learn how to stand up. So if we look things with the meditation eyes, everything can be a lecture. There, meditation. When you know how to select, understand your body, what kind of food you're able to take, what kind of food you're unable to take, because this kind of food will make your body sick. Don't take. Some of the kids, they're really allergic with peanuts. They have to remember one thing: before they eat something, they must ask whether this snack or this food contains peanuts or not. They have to memorize it. They need to memorize it. Before you touch the food, make sure you ask, don't just pick and put in your mouth. Because we have the habit. We see some food, put in the mouth, and after that we realize some peanuts. But now, you almost touch, you stop, you ask. Meditation. So, like William said, meditation slow you down and help you to see things clearly. So you can, sitting is a beautiful form to calm your body. Like the time you collect all the energy, and then you can use that energy in your daily life. We cannot run anywhere to hide all the negatives. There is no place for us to stay that we call nirvana or heaven. Heaven or nirvana is only when you're able to transform your anger, your hate, your ignorance. So people ask, where's nirvana? Nirvana everywhere. Where's hell? Hell is everywhere. You sit here, right in this place, you have no happy hell. You have no cushion, but you feel happy with your learning, with your relax, with your calming nirvana. There's a poem. They define, they give the definition of heaven. Where is heaven? You use your ear to find the noise, the sound of heaven, you cannot hear. You use your eyes looking for heaven, no place to looking for. And then the second line, they say, how far? Not too far, not too high. Where's heaven? Right here, right in your heart. This is the original lines for the poem. Thiên thính tịch vô âm. Hà xứ tầm where you can find it. Phi cao, diệt phi viễn. Not too high, not too far. Đô chỉ tại nhân tâm. Heaven is right here. Right in your heart. So people think, oh, when Buddhism talking about nirvana, maybe it's a place. Nirvana is no places, right here. Hell is also here. So in Buddhism, what is the hell explained? What is the meaning of hell based on Buddhist view? Hell can be defined in many terms, many meanings. I just share with you few. Hell means dislike, lot of suffer. Khổ khổ means full of suffer. Khả yểm, easy to hate, easy to distaste. You cannot see hell, but hell is somewhere around you. Sometimes we come to the meal, we cook long hours to cook, we sit together, we eat, we chat, few words, we stand up, we walk away because of the angry, of the upset. From heaven, we turn into hell. So, they define where's heaven. If you're able to see that, realize that, that's meditation. Lot of things to learn. That's why the Buddha never want us to suffer with our learning. Learning is to help us to relieve, not learning to contain and suffer with what we learned. Remember that. That's why the Buddha said, I have taught for 45 years, but I never say even a word. Not even a single word that I have spoke. Why he said that? I taught 45 years, but I didn't say anything. Because what I taught is only the prescription. Depends on the sickness of that person. I give the treatment, the healing, but don't attach. Medicine is only medication to relieve your pain, your sickness, not the one for you to describe, to advertise. That's it. You never heal if you only advertise the medication. So meditation is a good medication. When you can calm yourself down, see things clearly, that's meditation. When the hate, the angry, fully in you, and you almost speak out with that kind of negative words, and you know this kind of words will hurt that person, stop, calm down, walk away, help yourself to calm down. You almost open the gate of hell, but luckily some bell invited, you walk away, you enter the gate of heaven. You almost open the gate of hell. Many, many times, I almost explode my anger. I walk few steps down to the dining hall, but I stop on time. I say, I should walk up, because I know with this kind of negative, unpleasant feelings in me, I may say a lot of things that can cause the situation worse. I walk back to my room. I wait until I can calm down, and I will come to see that person and talk. That is how we practice. We are not a saint. We do not dare to say, I have no more angry in me. We don't have to say that, but we should say, I have full of anger in me, but I try to tame them, taming them. That is meditation, and that is the purpose of practice. Thank you for your presence tonight. Thank you for your listening, for your sharing, and for your questions. I hope that we are seeing, clearly and clearly each day the path that we are walking on. And we walk on the path. And some of the path will leading us to the happiness. Some of the path will totally bring us down and down and down. Last night I have shared with one monk who came and visit me, and we drive from Edmonton to Calgary yesterday, and on the way back I asked the monk, don't you see that sometimes we are very funny? We come to the monastery or the practice center, we listen to the same topic, almost, always similar the same. But we say, how come Thầy never have anything new to say? How come he repeat, things again and again? But they never think. Daily life is the same. What time you wake up, what time you go to work, what time you go back home and cook. And you also follow the cycle. You grow up, find someone you love, get married, have some kids, and then fighting, argument, and divorce, and everything the same. But nothing for us to say, we're never awake. But we come to the practice center, we listen to the things and again, but we don't feel. Again and again, but that again bring us to the light of happiness. Something we repeat again and again, exactly the same, but that pushes us down and down. You grocery every week, what kind of vegetable you buy? How many kind of foods in the store, but we still buy every day. Some of the things we repeat every day, but we don't see anything. So two things that we repeat. Something we repeat, but that repeat helps. Like when you learn to memorize something, you need to read it again and again. The more you say it, the more you memorize it. When I was about their age, do you know how I learned the chanting? I have a book I put in my backpack. Every morning when I go to the bus stop, while waiting for the bus, I take out the book and read a few lines. Read it all the way. I never listen to music. I have no MP3. I have no CD player, nothing. Just chanting. When I walk out of the temple, in my head, chanting. When I arrived to school, I focus on my study. I walk out of the school, I continue to chant. I learned in that way because I know that when I have go to temple, back to temple, I have lot of things to do after. So where I use my time to learn, only the way from school to temple, from temple to school. This is how I learn. Sometimes I need to learn Dhamma talk from, senior monks. If I have a long drive, I will bring that MP3 with me and I listen. I learn from them. I never use my time, very rarely to waste my time of learning. You know how to use your time right. You are meditation. You don't name it meditation, but actually you are meditation. You don't have to, declare, I am the meditator. That's why in one of the 42 chapter teaching by the Buddha, and one of the chapter the Buddha said, we need to offer to someone who practice but don't see any signal of practice. They attain to the fruit of the Buddhahood, but they never declare, I am the Buddha. Because what is Buddha? Buddha is the time when you awake. It's not the saying when you can walk on fire, you walk on the water, everywhere you go you can see halo. That's called the Buddha. Buddha is the time that you can awake. You almost explode, you awake. No, don't say it. Don't do that. If you know, Thầy always remind us that. We almost did wrong things. We think about Thầy. If we did it, Thầy will suffer. Thầy won't happy. You are the Buddha in the moment of that. So in the Sukhavati Amita Sutra, every single minute we commemorate Buddha, commemorate Dharma, commemorate Sangha. If you do this, it will relate it to the brothers. Don't do it. For example, William, Patrick, they all go to same school. If Patrick do something wrong, William also affect. Michael and Johnson, same school. If both of them do something wrong, they are affect. We do something wrong, our community affect. We think about that, called commemorate the Sangha. Sangha means the community. Enjoy your weekend, brothers and sisters. I hope that we can see each other again on Tuesday night to spend some time to help to clean the hall and decoration and get ready for the New Year's Eve on Wednesday.